It's me, Pretty Pink Pommy. Happy Monday. How are we doing? How are we doing? Shout out to the bitches with day jobs. If you're at work right now, shake your titties. Yes. Okay. Okay. Shout out to the icons of the day, aka the icons of the stream. We have Summerone, aka V. We have Moss Green City, and we have Majestic Milotic. Thank you to the new followers. Let's talk about some things. Do that, baby. Thank you for the sub. Who subbed? 15 months of paying rent in the penthouse. Thank you. Okay, so I do want to remind y'all the spring cleaning giveaway is still open. I think I'm going to be closing it off maybe this week. I haven't decided when that's going to be closed off, but I am letting you know that it's open right now and it's going to continue to be open for a little bit longer. So definitely pull up, collect your Pokemon in the Discord server. I will be personally DMing people who have not responded to my repeated pings here really soon. Yeah, let's get into it. Exactly, Annalise. Okay, I do have something else that I want to talk to you about though. I did previously ask y'all to on social media, if you're on the Discord or if you're following me on Blue Sky, then you saw that I asked you to save the date for my stream anniversary celebration happening on May 29th, 2026. I posted about this in the Discord as well, but I will read to you exactly what that message says. It says, my stream anniversary celebration is on the way. It's on May 29th, 2026. And here are some fun facts about my streaming career so far. My Twitch account has had many names, but really only 3, and it has existed since May 15th, 2021. My first stream ever was Friday, May 10th, 2024 at 7:15 p.m. Central Time. This is the date I consider my stream anniversary. This year, in 2026, it's on a Sunday. I became affiliate on June 3rd, 2024, which is the exact day I got 50 followers. I got 100 followers on July 17th, 2024. While I was offline, 200 followers on October 30th, 2024, while I was also offline, 300 on March 1st, which is the first time that I hit a milestone like that while I was online. And I was like actually streaming as well, obviously. I got 400 followers on June 25th during the girly pop lock for Pretty Peach Pichu. I got 500 followers while I was offline on the weekend of November 21st, 2025. And I currently have 586 followers as of yesterday evening. I don't know if I've gotten any new followers since then, but it's really whatever. This is the event, like I'm really excited to plan out this event, and I'm still working on planning it out, but I wanted to let y'all know the date that it was happening so that y'all could be prepared for when it actually happens. Besides that, we do have weekend cartoons coming up as well. Not weekend cartoons, hello, weekend cartoons. What the fuck you talking about? Where's that flyer? I have some things planned out for the week. We are going to be watching Hump Day cartoons on Wednesday. If everything goes correctly, I need to kind of organize some of these flyers that I have on my PC, because where the fuck is that? And why don't I see it? Here it is. Yeah, we are going to be watching cartoons on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central. I'm going to do the event for that right now if it's not already done. It is already done. It's happening April 29th. So yeah, period. Okay, let's get into the stream. So right now we are in Pretty Pinkerton, and I am knocked out on my bed in my Pretty Pinkerton house, mind you. Hi, Tinkatuff. Do you need something? Can I help you? I wonder what sort of thing this is gonna become. I'm looking forward to it. She's talking about the, there's a windmill being built on the other side of this area over here. I had the girls do some building. I tried to make Murkrow's house a little bit better by giving him this awning. It's a little industrial, but it's whatever. And here's the windmill and Pretty Pinkerton. I haven't really been playing this game a whole lot. So, like, there is some progress because I did play yesterday for a touch to get this kind of stuff done, but I'm trying to level up my, I'm trying to level up my Pallet Town. And I'm doing that by putting builds in right now so I can decorate them and have Pokemon have better lives. Would you like this, Tinky Tinky? Maybe you and Munchlax can live in here. It's been so helpful, especially buying paint and stuff. Yeah, I have paint. I should be able to turn that on. The electricity works. It does work. Where's the box that's connected to this? There's a box over here. This is connected. This is connected. Is this one of the ones that has a switch on it? What the hell? They're on. Which is the one that I'm missing? There should be another one over here. And this one is on. And these are all connected. It looks like in this one spot, nothing connects to it. But I need this to be connected to something, so... Specifically, I want it to be connected to both of these. Close the door and open up to me. Oh, wow. Hi, Charmander. You don't live here, but hi. You don't even live here. Why are you talking about your house? Go home. Oh, it looks like I got the emote. Thankful. Aww. Oh, you want a toy? I feel like I have a toy on me. Shoot, I could just give you this slide. I truly, truly don't care. Yup, thank you, thank you. Articuno! I have an okay pull. 5 bowls of green paint, sewer hole cover recipe, iron pipes, felt mat recipe. I'll take that. Who should I have live in the house? It's kind of cramped out here. Like, there's Pokemon that live in every little spot. Maybe I'll move Machamp and I will take their belongings and I'll move Machamp and Hitmontop to the house because they already have a bunch of shit. And they're kind of living on like the outskirts. They're also the most human-like, I believe. Besides Tinky Tinky and them. I'm gonna leave this bed for freaking Rowlet. I think it's cute. Eventually, both of those Pokemon are gonna be living in the Rocky Ridges. But right now, I will just develop this house for them so that they have somewhere to stay for the shorter term. I'm gonna expand this window. Yeah, it needs to be like this. Y'all don't need all these chairs. They will want it brighter in here, though, I'm sure. I will put the gamer bed over here. And see, like, this should be, like, lit up because the house has electricity. Now I'm tripping. Hey, baby, won't you open up? Split you open like a coconut. Give me what I need. Close the door and open up. We are not intellectuals in this household. Honestly, I think I'm good with this for now. It needs to be lit up though. I don't have any lights on me. And also the electricity is not working. So let's check out the electricity before I move out in here, because this is supposed to be like an upward motion for y'all. Yeah, so the electricity is on. In the entire house. Yeah, it should be attached. Let's move this over one. I don't have any storage, but I do have stuff to make something, maybe. Like a light. I have the stuff for a fan. Is there a light in my inventory that I can, like, craft? And we got 2 community boxes. Okay, let's roll. Bitch, get out the way. Vikavolt, what the hell? I like a walkaway, like that's one kind of a cutout into the land. I like a walkway that's like, you like it that it's cut into the land. I did that because there was already a hill here and I didn't want to build over the hill to make a walkway to the house when it was so close to the hill already. And so this is gonna light up. And I am gonna be putting a community box right next to your house. Thank you. And I am going to be surrounding this house exactly with electricity. I thought this was connected. I was wrong. This won't connect. Where's my icon of the day? Well, you missed it. How about that? Maybe I don't need electrical wires all through the bitch, because, like, they're gonna be able to, like, you know, the house is already lit up. Like, it doesn't matter. Now, this will be satisfactory for both of them. So, Matchup is like the, like, So Matchup and Hitmontop are in kind of like, they're in an open relationship, but they're both very much in love with each other, but they're in an open relationship and they're together. But like when they first got together, like Matchup wasn't as muscular as he is, but then he got super obsessed with the gym and he started doing all the stuff. He started taking the supplements. He started doing his big one. And as he's done that, Hitmontop has started to look more and more like, you know, like average, kind of like thick in the middle. And Matchup still loves him, but Hitmontop is very insecure about it. So Hitmontop is trying to be more like masculine, trying to be more muscular, trying to be more about that lifestyle, but he's not really getting into it the same way. So he's kind of like one of those like gym scrubs. He's not really a gym rat. He's one of those like scrubs that you see at the gym who's just kind of like working at the gym, but he's still working towards his goals, even though he's been going to the gym for multiple years. And so the whole thing is like, you know, obviously Matchup is on that stuff. Like he's juicing, he's doing his big one. And then like Hitmontop is just kind of the same. And it's kind of like they have conversations sometimes where Hitmontop is kind of like, you've changed. And then Matchup is kind of like, but you stay the same. And Hitmontop is kind of like, inside Hitmontop is saying, well, like, there's nothing wrong with me. There was nothing ever wrong with me. But you changed because you don't like yourself. But Hitmontop doesn't say that. Eventually they're going to break up. And when they break up is when they're going to both move to the Rocky Ridges. And they're going to both move to the Rocky Ridges. They're going to move there together. And that's where they're going to break up. But they're only going to break up because they want to see other people, because their lifestyles have shifted so much, even though they wanted to make the move with each other to kind of like benefit the relationship. And then they're still going to see each other around in town and stuff, and they're going to be cordial, but they're never going to talk about what actually happened, because they were together for 5 years living in the living in Pretty Pinkerton, and they never, like, they were just never happy, like. And that's okay that they, and like, I think the thing is, like, Hitmontop is gonna find other like-minded individuals, but Matchup is never gonna have what they had with Hitmontop before they started doing all that shit. And especially because like they have an open relationship, so like there's really no betrayal if they see other people as long as it's consensual. But then they're within the context of their own relationship. But like Machamp bettered himself in the eyes of society, but Machamp never bettered himself in the eye of Hitmontop, and that's what we really need to talk about. Okay, anyway. Hi, Sam. I hope you're well today. And you know, I really think that the real issue with Machamp is that Machamp wanted to be more muscular to feel more masculine, but Machamp is also like toxically attached to the way that to his youth. He's toxically attached to his aesthetics in a way that is negatively impacting the relationship. And like obviously the steroids do like affect their relationship, but not to the extent that's like not to the extent that you would think, where it's like it's not to the extent that you would think where it's like he's like where Hitmontop has a problem with that. Hitmontop doesn't have a problem with like what Machamp is doing, in the sense that like, you know, I know that you're trying to do something because you want to better yourself, but I'm more worried about your psychology than your health at this moment, because your psychology is affecting me and your health is something that you need to have in your own hands because you're an adult. And I mean that's a possibility, Sam. But you know, people who are toxically addicted to supplements and things like that are probably not afraid of using performance enhancers in the bedroom. So I wouldn't necessarily say that. Machamp is probably only going to live to be about 45. So. Meanwhile, Hitmontop lost the love of his life really early on, and they had a 5-year relationship, and he didn't die when they broke up. I'm sick. The love of, like, okay, but think of the real horror of that, because that actually does happen to people. Like, you lose the love of your life because they changed fundamentally as a person in front of your eyes while you were in a relationship with them. Anyway, can y'all get away from me? Is 5 long or short in this context? Well, considering that Machamp only is gonna live to be 45 years old because of all the shit that he's doing to his body, that's pretty short. Especially considering that, like, you know, in my headcanon, they're supposed to be gay men, so it could be a long relationship. It really depends. Hitmontop might find love, but Hitmontop is never gonna find the love that they have for Machamp when they first started. I forgot what I was doing today. We're supposed to be going to Bleak Beach. I was just dropping Charizard and Charmander off. Well, I hope that you enjoyed it, Milotic. Me with Taco Bell. Oh. Machamp needs to start bottoming and Hitmontop needs to start to live up to his name. That would fix the relationship. I don't think it was ever about the top and the bottom. It was about the fact that Machamp wanted to be more masculine because Machamp is somebody who lived his life on the fringes of society because he was boy failure for so long. He never really fit into the mold of being masculine or even being a feminine man. He was just kind of out here. And Hitmontop and Machamp, originally when they got together, they resonated with that. Like, that was something that they both experienced. But over time, we saw Machamp kind of lose his connection to that aspect of his life in the same way that Hitmontop is still living in that currently. Like, Hitmontop is okay with not necessarily meeting everybody's expectations on what it means to be a man or a fighting type Pokemon, but Machamp cannot live up to that, live with that. So Machamp started to change himself, and that's the real issue, is that Machamp is no longer the person that Hitmontop needed him to be, let alone the person that Hitmontop knew. And yet they stay together because they live in the house together, they have friends, their lives are interconnected because they were together for 5 years. And they're young enough to where they could recover from this, like, you know, if they really wanted to, but it's still gonna take time. Who is Hitmonlee to this situation? This is about Hitmontop and Machamp. Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan live in another city. They still talk to Hitmontop, but they don't live with Hitmontop. They haven't seen Hitmontop since they were teenagers. And girl, do not ask me where Tyrogue lives, because I couldn't even tell you right now. Actually, and you know what? This story actually does talk about like real life problems. Like, he's still trying to learn how to change his diapers. Meanwhile, Hitmontop, I mean not Hitmontop, Tyrogue. Meanwhile, Tyrogue is working a small business for himself in one of these freaking areas. Tyrogue is one of the Pokemon that works the little shop. I could have swore, maybe not. Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan do. I don't know if Hitmontop is a trading Pokemon. Child labor? You mean like self-made. You mean self-made. Emancipated minor, mind you. Not too much on him. Queer as folk Pokemon edition, basically. Because we're talking about real life problems. Like there's genuinely an issue with the way that people see themselves and their relationship to themselves in like... And there are, especially young queer people, they change themselves so much to fit into society's mold of what it needs to be, whatever they think that they are, that they ruin their own experience. They ruin themselves. They ruin their lives by changing themselves so drastically when they really need to start doing things that are going to benefit their own psyche and outside of society's view of them. We see it all the time. And I could name a handful of celebrities that do it. I'm sure some of the people that we talk to do it. All kinds of stuff. No shade. I'm not gonna start like naming names or anything like that. I don't think about it that way. But it is genuinely an issue. So what I'm going to do, I did some thinking about it. First of all, I do want to continue to work on this building right here that you see right here. The green one, because I didn't actually finish it to an extent where I could move in the Pokemon that I was going to move in. This building eventually is going to possibly house multiple Pokemon, including but not limited to Scyther, Scizor, Vikavolt, Grubbin, and Charjabug. Right now it is housing no one. I was going to build my Frutiger Aero style building right here, and it's going to be kind of like an open concept, kind of like a naturalist kind of tower with waterfalls coming out of it and other things like that. But I wanted to demolish the houses and figure out exactly what I want it to look like first. Also, Farfetch'd is going to be homeless for a touch of time, unless I move Farfetch'd into one of these houses, but I don't know who's living here. Farfetch'd could live in here with them, I guess. I really don't want Farfetch'd to live with Happiny and them. See, we're dealing with real issues out here in Pokopia. And, you know, don't even get me started on what happened between Farfetch'd and Torchic and why Torchic is living by herself now. Torchic was just a young Pokemon trying to make it out here in the bleak beaches. The bleakest of beaches, mind you. Farfetch'd loves his house. Well, come with me. Raise his hand. Why are you raising your hand? What do you want? I know I want you to live out here, but I don't know where I want you to live. Like... I don't want anything. I'm answering Lisa's question. Oh, what did Lisa say? Raise your hand if you're genuinely an issue. Oh, okay. Farfetch'd? Oh, Farfetch'd is messy. There's a reason why Farfetch'd is single. Farfetch'd and Torchic were not in a relationship. Torchic is Torchic is a little young for that. Torchic was like 19. They came out to the bleak beach. They were trying to figure themselves out. And Farfetch'd was a little bit more like independent. Just looking for a roommate, trying to figure things out as well. Farfetch'd is in her late 20s. And it's kind of like, they were kind of like, Torchic, yeah, you can move in with me. But then Farfetch'd and Torchic, their lives got intertwined because Torchic started becoming friends with Farfetch'd friends, you know, stuff like that. And it became messy because like Torchic is still young. Torchic was still trying to figure things out. So Torchic was like sometimes enmeshed in the drama that was going on in Farfetch'd like social life, which was fine. I don't think Torchic really minded that, but Torchic needed her own life. She needed her own space. She needed a connection to things that were going on with her life and her vision. And that's just not what was happening for her. You know, she had the bricklaying job. She had the brick manufacturing job that she was working out here in the bleak beach, and it was fine, but it was like she needs her own space. She needs her own life with people who actually care about her. Come to find out, Farfetch'd and Farfetch'd friends did not care about Torchic the way Torchic cared about them, and Torchic had to learn that the hard way, so she had to distance herself. Never trust somebody with perpetual onion breath. But, you know, I think that that's sometimes the cost of having a relationship with somebody who only views you as less than because of a demographic that you exist in, especially when it comes to age groups. Like, you know, there's already an interesting dynamic going on between them when it came to, like... There was already an interesting dynamic going on between them when it came to, like, you know... Farfetch'd is a normal flying type and Torchic is a fire type. Like, they were already different typings. They weren't really living the same existence. They weren't really living the, you know, they didn't have the same perspective on life. And then the age gap really ruined things because Farfetch'd kind of saw Torchic as a joke. Like, they saw it as kind of like Torchic was like their pet more so than their friend. They saw Torchic as being kind of like an entertainment for them. And that's why Torchic now lives by herself in the duplex that where the other fire types live in this area. It's about self-respect. And Torchic has that, but can Farfetch'd and her friends say that they have that? No. I don't know if any crushed Pokemon even live out here, so I'm not going to put these berries in here. I'm going to put this wood in here. I will put this non-burnable garbage in here for sure. I have paper too. Waste paper. Like, this is Pokemon Days of Our Lives. This is the days of our Pokemon lives. Like, it's real serious out here. And like, you don't think it's that serious because you see the Pokemon and you're just kind of like, oh, this is a cute Pokemon. Like, there's nothing super serious about their life. Like, it's not even a big deal what they have going on. And then come to find out, it's the most serious shit you're ever going to hear in your life. We're going to go to the Rocky Ridges. I'm just going to put away these berries in one of these little community boxes so that I have Pokemon working on the paint when I need it. Even though I already have a fuck ton of paint. Anyway. And you don't even want to know the dynamic between Charmeleon, Raboot, and Combuskin living in that one apartment by themselves. You don't even want to know what's going on with them. I know the scorch marks are inches deep. Right. Who is selling up here? Oh, okay, get into it, girl. See, everybody gotta have a little business, a little side hustle. Get into it. Is somebody selling over here too? Nobody ever sells over here. This shop has been up and open for a long time and nobody sells or nothing. Is this still working to register habitat? It is. They just don't come over here. They should, they don't. And Clefable lives nearby. Clefable lives in my house. And she left the door open too. And don't even get me started. There's a reason why Clefairy and Cleffa live on the opposite side of town between from Jigglypuff and Igglybuff. And I can confirm Scorbunny and Raboot and Cinderace are involved in that drama. Like, that relationship with Cinderace is definitely part of the reason why Clefairy and Jigglypuff do not get along the same way like they used to. Hi, V. V, look at all my dinosaurs. Y'all come make paint. Y'all come make paint. They'll get bored. They'll figure it out. Bye. Rampardos is making paint. He's not eating. He was like, he's crushing the berries. Okay, so do y'all want to know why Jigglypuff and Clefairy live on opposite sides of town, or do you want to know do you want to know the toxic situation that's going on with the fire type Pokemon in Bleak Beach? I know that's right. Big bag busting up the bit. I want to know how Igglybuff is mixed up in its best. Well, Igglybuff lives with Jigglypuff. Igglybuff is Jigglypuff's little sister. And so, like, that's the thing, is like Igglybuff and Clefairy, Igglybuff and Cleffa are besties, but Jigglypuff is Igglybuff's little big sister, and Clefairy is Cleffa's older cousin, but the reason why they're older cousins is because Clefa's mama um had moved in Clefairy when Cleffa was a baby because she needed somewhere to stay. And so like the whole drama is they became besties. Jigglypuff and Clefairy became besties because they went to the same school, and they also had little, you know, they had like the little sister, little cousin situation going on. And so they would hang out because their little, you know, their little relatives would be hanging out too. And so it was fine. They were the same age. They knew each other from school. It was whatever. But like the tea is like, so like Clefable or whatever, Clefable is on her hot girl shit because she's a little bit too old and a little bit too grown to be like worried about Clefairy and Cleffa the way that they do, which is why Clefable lives with me. She's my roommate, but she's not even really my roommate. She's just more of like she's really living by herself, and she's letting me rent the room in the back. She would rather have that because she doesn't necessarily need to be up in there, and the two of them would rather be living together anyway. And so like the real drama is that like they were really good besties for a long time because they went to school with each other and they knew each other, and like obviously the little sister little cousin connection was really important to them because it was very innocent, it was very youthful, it was very fun, and they were just girls together. It was fine. I think the real issue came in though when Jigglypuff got into the relationship with Cinderace. You know, Scorbunny goes to the same school as Cleffa and Igglybuff, but Scorbunny is like 2 grades up, and so they see each other, and there's not a problem with that because like they're just really casual, like they don't really have strong relationships. They play sometimes or whatever, but you know, Scorbunny's a little boy, Igglybuff and Cleffa are little girls. So it's just not the same vibe. Like they're not necessarily going to be besties, and nobody really has a problem with that. The issue comes in though because Cinderace has this like, you know, financial relationship with Jigglypuff that I think kind of creates a tension between Clefairy and Jigglypuff in their adult lives, because it's kind of like, why do you feel the need when you are fully capable and you have somebody to take care of, why do you feel the need to have this kind of financial relationship instead of having a job and taking care of yourself and setting a better example for your little sister? And Clefairy feels a problem with that, and they had a conversation one time, and basically it come to find out Jigglypuff was really judging Clefairy for some of the stuff that's been happening at Clefairy's house, even though Clefairy is kind of a victim of circumstance with the whole living with her auntie and her little cousin situation anyway. You know, Clefairy doesn't really talk a lot about what happened between her and her mama, but it's like, it's just, let's just say the grandmama's the baby, like there's just not a relationship there. That's okay, but like why do you feel the need to involve yourself in something that's going on, and you're being judgmental when you live in a glass house? You have a sugar daddy and you're talking about what's going on in my house, about some shit that doesn't even have anything to do with you, that you don't even know about. And it's kind of like, why did you think in your head that this was going to go any way but south when you're saying judgmental stuff about what's going on with me? And so the little sisters are still friends, like it's fine, and like they still see each other, but it's never like because I think that there's still a trust there. Like Clefairy and Jigglypuff both know, like I can send her over there and they can hang out with each other and it's not going to be an issue. But it's one of those adult relationships where it's like, we're never going to be friends though. Like you might have might have a difference in lifestyle, but I know that you're taken care of. I know that your house is together, and I know that I can trust you as my little sister, but I'm not going to ever go in there and like sit down and kiki with you the same way that we did. And Clefable is like appraised of the situation, but Clefable is kind of like hands off because Clefable's real job, you know, Clefable left Clefairy to live over there with Cleffa, and that was fine for them. But it was really more because Cleffa wanted to live with Clefairy, because Clefairy is kind of like, she's not her mom, but it's like she wanted the freedom, she wanted to have fun, she knew that there was going to be more of a better time over there, and Clefable is kind of like an older mom, so she didn't necessarily want to have this little kid on her back all the time, and so it just kind of made sense that was what was going to work out. Nobody has any issues with that, and nobody's judging them for that, but I think that Jigglypuff also has some preconceived notions about what that means for Cleffa and what it means for Clefable, and so then there's that dynamic where it's like, you're not going to judge the person who took care of me my entire life and then still be my friend. And like, yeah, I don't mind if the kids are friends because they're kids in it, I want them to have a good childhood, but me and you are never going to be the same way that we are because you're making comments about shit you don't know about. They definitely traded silly bands together and made rainbow loom bracelets. Exactly. Igglybuff reminds me of those Peppa Pig dubs you see on TikTok. Yes. And so, like, obviously, like, you know, Cleffa and Igglybuff are just little kids. Like, they're not caught up in the mess the same way, but it's definitely, like, they have a sense of what's going on, and they are just trying to continue to be friends regardless of what happens. And it is unfortunate when the children get involved, especially because you know they're hearing stuff. You know they hear, like, obviously Cleffa is hearing the conversations that Clefairy and Clefable are having about Jigglypuff and the whole dynamic, but it's like, what can she actually do? She just wants them to be best friends because you know a little kid loves the feeling of belonging, and they love a feeling of like being in proximity to really important adult relationships as well. And so it really just, I think that it really sucks that they can't have that, but also at the same time it's like the real world doesn't work that way, where you get to have relationships that make sense for everybody involved all the time. And that just happens to be the lesson. And it sucks, but I think that, like, you know, at least for Igglybuff and Cleffa, like, they are going to come to terms with what happened and how things are going. I can't say that for everyone. I kind of want the white rock. Where does the white rock go? Do I have more white rock somewhere? 58 could be a good enough, like. Let me go see if I have any white rock elsewhere. And it's like, I really, you know, they live in the same town, but they like Clefairy. But Jigglypuff used to live in the house. Jigglypuff and Igglybuff used to live in the house that me and Clefable live in currently. But like then they moved to the big house over on the other side of town because of Cinderace. Got that, right? And so it's like, obviously that's going to impact their relationship because they're not in proximity. The girls still go to school with each other or whatever, but it's like, it's never going to be what it used to be. And I think that they'll mourn that relationship, but you know, like Clefable is really mature. You know, she has a lot of good things going for her. She's gonna move on. Jigglypuff, on the other hand, maybe not, but we never know. It's not gonna magically ever get better for anyone, but you know, like that's just the cost of being young and turnt. As long as the kids remain friends, yeah, and that's the real thing, is that, like, especially Clefable's influence is really a big part of this, and I also think that really Jigglypuff is a little bit jealous of the fact that Clefairy still has Clefable in her life, even though that's not her mom. She still has a mother figure because Jigglypuff has had to figure out a lot of this stuff out on her own from a really young age, even though she has a little sister. And so it's kind of like, that's the real dynamic that's going on between them, is that Jigglypuff is really not even judgmental. She's just acting out because she doesn't know how to handle the feelings of jealousy that she feels between her and Clefairy. And so, like, that's affecting their dynamic. And, like, Clefable is trying to be the stable influence to say, like, but don't ruin the kids' relationship because you two can't get along. Like, first of all, I'm not going to let all this bullshit happen because you know what? Who goes to the parent-teacher conference? Me. She might be living in your house, but I'm the one who's going up over there. I'm the one who's paying some of her bills. Like, we still have an arrangement over here. You're not going to ruin her childhood because you can't keep your shit together with your friend talking to Clefairy. And that's the real thing. Like, Clefable is the stable influence in the background, even though she don't live at the house with them anymore. Well, Chansey lives in another area. Chansey lives in Withered Wasteland. Audino lives over here though, at the house next to Jigglypuff. But Audino is just kind of like the nosy neighbor. Like, she checks in or whatever, and she's like her Audino and Clefable are besties, but like it's not that serious. Like, so Audino knows what's going on, and sometimes Audino sees Jigglypuff around town, but she's never like, girl, I know your business, I know your tea. Like, she's just kind of like living her life, minding her business. Because what are you supposed to say to somebody when you know something like that about them? Do I have the recipe for stylish tiling? Like, Audino is kind of like, she has the dynamic with like Jigglypuff and Clefable, where it's kind of like, and really Clefairy, because, you know, Clefairy is kind of like really Clefairy is the functional mother of Cleffa, but like Clefable is the actual mother of Cleffa and makes a lot of the decisions, even though they don't live together anymore. And so like, sometimes when Clefairy wants some time off, you know, Clefable will take care of Cleffa and she'll go to Audino's house, and Audino will kind of be like a mediator, and Igglybuff can come over there, and Jigglypuff can go have her moment with Cinderace, and Clefairy can go live her hot girl life. But it's never gonna be what it used to be. Like, you know, and that's why Audino, she has her own life. She's old. She might be a little bit older, a little bit middle aged, but she still has people around her. Because she has Machoke coming over all the time, and she has, what's his name, Tyranitar, who likes to stop by. Machoke is kind of like the flavor of the month for Audino, but in reality, it's really Machoke. Machoke is the flavor of the month, but in reality, it's really Tyranitar who she really wants to settle down with, but Tyranitar is not ready for that, because he still wants to have like a professional life. He still wants to have fun. He wants to sow his oats, even though he's getting a little older himself. He's one of those like older men who's a little bit immature, so he can't really handle the idea of being in a committed relationship with somebody who sees him for who he is. And so like Tyranitar, you know, he doesn't have any commitments, nothing super serious about it, but like, you know, he obviously has like Larvitar. Larvitar is his baby from another woman, like, and but he doesn't have Larvitar all the time. Like, Larvitar sometimes he has a room for Larvitar in his house, but it's never to the extent of like where like he has to like be a super involved dad for Larvitar, especially because Larvitar is like, you know, Larvitar is at that age where he doesn't really need a dad. He just needs like, he needs a friend. And like Tyranitar is kind of like, well, I can be your friend, but like, if you don't want me to be your dad, like, I'm not going to go out of my way to like make this into something that it's not going to be. So like, we can hang out and I'll see you on the weekends and like things like that, but it's never going to be so serious to where it's like, I'm going to be going to all of your events and stuff like that because you don't want me there and you don't ask me to show up, so I'm not going to go out of my way to show up. And that affects their relationship, but that has nothing to do with Audino. Audino is like an outside looking in perspective on their relationship, and so she kind of minds her business in that regard. But it's kind of like, Tyranitar is super serious and he really wants like a relationship, but he's not ready to commit himself to being in the relationship that Audino needs from him. And so that's the real issue with them, is that like Audino needs that kind of relationship. She needs something serious in her life. She's a woman of a certain age. She's not going to accept less than. And even though she doesn't necessarily have any kids, she doesn't have any like requirements, she's still not going to put herself in a position that she would have put herself in when she was in her 20s. And you know, that's only backed up by her relationship with Clefable, who, you know, Clefable's been there, done that. Like, obviously she has the daughter, she has her niece, like, she's not really looking for a relationship with a man the way that like Audino might want, but Audino's never had that kind of relationship, so of course like Audino's gonna have a little bit of a different perspective than Clefable that has. And like Clefable's never like judging Audino, but Clefable sees the tea, especially because Tyranitar lives in town with them and Tyranitar's in the same age group. Like, Tyranitar is gonna be acting up, he's gonna be doing the stuff that a lot of these Pokemon do, where he's just like, he can't get it right, he can't get it together, and obviously we're gonna know his tea. Like, of course he's gonna be on Tinder, he's gonna be on Hinge, he's gonna be on Sniffies, like, he's gonna be going out to the clubs, he's a man, like, but it's just, it is what it is. But like, that doesn't mean necessarily that like, that Audino is not entitled to the relationship she has with him. but it's kind of like Clefable can see that tea. And like, it's hard for her to really come to terms with the fact that maybe Audino wants somebody who's going to be living their life in a way. Like, Audino wants an experience with a man, and she knows what that's going to entail. But Clefable is kind of like, but why would you have an experience with a man like this when you have such a nice thing going for yourself and his influence on your life is not always the most positive? Even if you want a relationship with a man, you want to get married, you want all that good stuff, like, why would you want that with somebody who's not going to, like, you know, be the best influence on what you have going on for yourself? Because, like, clearly Audino is a professional too. Like, she's a grown-ass woman. Like, she knows what she's doing, but, like, it gets complicated because you can't always, like, you know, like Clefable and the age group that Clefable and Dino are at, like, they can't, like, always, you can't tell your friend what they're doing when your friend is grown. You know what I mean? Like, that's the real thing. Anyway, so now I'm here building my Frutiger Aero building. Now I'm here building my Frutiger Aero building, and I'm gonna have a great time, and we're gonna have a great time. Period. I never told y'all the tea between Charmeleon and Raboot and Combuskin. The real tea. Damn, Charmeleon, do you want some? Fuck. I'm over here eating my piece of bread. He's like, damn, it looks good. Here. You tripping. So Charmeleon, Raboot, and Combuskin moved in together because they were all going to college in the Bleak Beach area for a little while. And like, Charmeleon dropped out but still lives in there with them, but like, Charmeleon is like besties with Combuskin and really good friends with Raboot, but not necessarily besties with Raboot in the same way. And like, it's really casual between all of them. But Raboot and Combuskin have this like toxic dynamic. Originally, it seemed like they were really rivals, but the reality is that like, come to find out, they're really like, Raboot have feelings for Combuskin, but Raboot is like one of those emotionally guarded, avoidant attachment kind of people. And so of course Raboot's not going to tell Combuskin, hey, I have feelings for you, especially when they already have like this like rivalry dynamic going on. It's going to become more of like one of those things where it's like an unspoken like aggression between the two of them that never really actually gets any kind of fulfillment that is like positive towards a friendship that they are trying to have, because they're still roommates, they're still trying to be friends, but like, how are you going to be best friends with somebody and be rivals with somebody but also have feelings for somebody and not be able to say that? Like, are y'all really best friends if you can't have that conversation? And then like, the thing is like, Raboot is like, you know, holding these feelings in. Come to find out, Charmeleon and Combuskin have been talking about how Combuskin has been having dreams about Raboot. And like, so there is already like this kind of like weird dynamic where like Combuskin, like Raboot it's like kind of hiding his feelings and not really saying anything, and Combuskin is fully aware of it. And Charmeleon knows the tea, but Charmeleon has an idea about what's going on with Raboot as well, because Charmeleon can see their dynamic. But like, Raboot is in his head saying, like, trying to deny everything that's going on because he's kind of like insecure about his feelings. And like, Combuskin is over here kind of like, you know, trying to keep it together. Meanwhile, they're students, like, they're young, like, and Charmeleon's kind of like, sometimes it's better to just like not try to focus on relationships when you're trying to get your degree. And like, Raboot hears that and Combuskin hears that, but neither of them are like actively like paying attention to exactly what Charmeleon is saying, because Charmeleon doesn't have the degree and Charmeleon's not going for his degree the same way anymore. So it's like, is your opinion really as valid as it could have been if you were actually still experiencing this with us? And like, obviously, like, Charmeleon is living his life, he's paying his rent, he's doing what he got to do or whatever, but it's like, they don't respect Charmeleon the same way, and so they're not actually listening to Charmeleon's opinion, and they're not even pursuing a relationship with each other, but they're just so flustered by each other's presence all the time that it's kind of becoming like this toxic dynamic between them where it's like, I really like you, but I can't express the way that I like you the way that I want to, so I'm mean to you. And that was cute when they were young, but you know, they're college age, they're becoming adults. Like, it's a little bit more serious than that now. And like, Raboot is aware of this, and Combuskin might be somewhat aware of this, but they're not like talking about it the way they need to in order to get it together, and it's really affecting the dynamic between all three of them. And like we all kind of knew that's what was going on when I first built that house and they all kind of moved in together. Like we saw the looks that Combuskin and Raboot were giving to each other, but I just minded my business. And like I feel like everybody else was kind of in that vibe too, where it's kind of like we know what's going on. Like, you know, Blaziken was like, you know what, like, yeah, you can move out of the house or whatever, it's fine. Like if you want to do what you got to do, you got to do what you got to do. Like I'm gonna let you take care of yourself. I'm gonna take care of myself. You're gonna take care of yourself, and I will see you when I see you, kind of thing. Because like obviously you're my kid, but like I'm not gonna be like all up in your business just because you're going to college in the same town that we live in and that I live in. Like it's gonna be fine. But like even Combuskin sees that, even Blaziken sees that shit when she comes over and she's like checking in on them. And you know, Cinderace, Raboot is Cinderace's little brother, and like they have that dynamic, but Cinderace does not pay attention the way that like Blaziken does, and so it's never like a conversation between them. But Cinderace definitely has an idea what's going on, and Cinderace is so caught up in Jigglypuff's life sometimes that Cinderace can't really be the brother that he needs to be, or rather that Raboot needs him to be. And so like there's this awkward thing that goes on between them where it's kind of like Raboot has an issue and Cinderace could tell Raboot has an issue, but Cinderace is not emotionally mature enough to really be like, yeah, I know something's up with you, I'm just not going to push the topic. So he just kind of keeps it to himself because he's emotionally stunted. That's why he's having this relationship with Jigglypuff, even though Jigglypuff's a little bit younger than him. Beyond the fact also, you want to talk about it, Cinderace has the kid that he's taking care of, and like, you know, Scorbunny is bad as hell. And like obviously Cinderace is involved with Scorbunny's life, but not to the extent where he's gonna be like going to the school or whatever. But the thing is, Cinderace is the only person that Scorbunny has. So if Cinderace is not going to the school, if Cinderace is not dealing with the issues, nobody's dealing with the issues. So Cinderace is kind of all over the place. So Scorbunny is really kind of all over the place when it comes to like how he's behaving at school and stuff, and like nobody's really checking him. And Jigglypuff tries the best that she can to be involved with Scorbunny the way that somebody needs to be, but she's not his mom. Especially when she has her own kid, when she has another kid that she's trying to take care of. Like she's never gonna get involved to the extent where it's going to hurt herself or hurt her relationship with Igglybuff, when Igglybuff is her main focus now, since that's her little sister. And that's really the part of the truly like messy dynamic between like Scorbunny and Jigglypuff, is that like you have this shit going on with your brother and he's going to school out of town, and like you see all the stuff that's going on between him and his roommate, and like I really want you to get involved with this because I think that he's really he's really struggling to come to terms with his own feelings, and it's especially as they affect his identity. And like I can see that and you can see that, but you're not doing anything about it, and it's really bothering me. But like she doesn't say anything because it's not really her place to say anything, but like clearly it's something that's going on, and it is definitely affecting their dynamic. But it's like Scorbunny ain't gonna do nothing about that shit. Cinderace ain't gonna do nothing about that shit because Cinderace is not emotionally mature enough to have that conversation with his little brother. And the only reason that Jigglypuff even knows the tea about Scorbunny like that is because Jigglypuff was there when Scorbunny was moving into his dorms with the other fire types. She left Igglybuff over there with Audino for a day, and she went over there to move him in just to make sure that, like, you know, there was some kind of stable influence going on, because, you know, sometimes Cinderace just doesn't get the mark. Like, Cinderace doesn't meet the need. Sometimes Cinderace will show up, but he's not going to be showing up the same way that somebody who really cares about Scorbunny would show up, and it's just because he's not emotionally mature enough to be doing that. And yeah, and so like obviously Jigglypuff is going to kind of like try to fill in that gap where she can, because she really cares about Raboot, and she really like hopes that like Raboot is taken care of. I'm talking about Raboot, not Scorbunny. And so like she's gonna show up, and so she sees the dynamic that's going on between Kabuskin and Raboot because she tries to show up. Because after that, one day, like a few weeks later, she wanted to check in on Raboot, so she was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna I cook some food. I have some extra food I cook for you," even though she really cooked it specifically for Raboot. She was like, "I have some extra leftovers from yesterday's dinner. I'm just gonna drop this off at your apartment. Just let me know when you're there, and I'll come over and I'll drop it off for you." She brings Igglybuff. It's nothing. Igglybuff is in the back seat, minding her business on her iPad. Jigglypuff gets out the car. She gives Raboot the casserole dish, and so come to find out, Raboot walks up with Charmeleon and Combuskin. Raboot and Combuskin are giving each other the eyes. Charmeleon just kind of looking around like, "Girl, what the fuck is going on?" Jigglypuff is looking at Charmeleon because she's like, "I know you know tea," but she's not saying anything. She gives him the container. She says, "I hope that you're doing well. Just send me a picture of your apartment when you get back home. Let me make sure everything is clean. If you need anything, just let me know. I'm gonna be in town for a little bit longer. I have some errands I need to run in the city. And then I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go back to Rocky Ridge. I have some things that I have to do at home a little bit later, but I'm gonna be here for a few hours. That's why I have Igglybuff in the back with her iPad. Like, it's not that serious." They take it. She sends a picture of the Raboot sends a picture of the apartment, and then it's fine. Like, it's nothing serious, but she knows that there's something up because of the way that they were looking at each other the day she brought the casserole dish. And she said, "Can you bring back my dish next time you come back home to come and visit your brother, Cinderace?" And so he does, and he brings the dish, but when he brings the dish, she's like, "Oh, well, thank you. I didn't even expect this to come back clean," because, she knows that they're, college age. She knows that they're not super mature. And, Raboot says, "Yeah, actually, you know who cleaned it was Combuskin." And when Raboot says that, he has a smile on his face, so obviously now Jigglypuff is, tuned in. No, Farm Boy, what you missed is that Raboot... Okay, so Combuskin, Raboot, and Charmeleon live in this house right here. Raboot and Combuskin have this, rivalry that turned into, a really strong relationship between them, but they're not actually in a relationship. They just have feelings for each other while they're going to college with each other. And Charmeleon's caught up in the middle of it. Cinderace lives in the Rocky Ridges with Scorbunny, who's his son. Scorbunny is Cinderace's son, but Scorbunny is Raboot's older brother. And Jigglypuff is in a relationship with Cinderace, and so Jigglypuff is trying to be more of the stable influence on Raboot's life, since Cinderace is a little bit emotionally immature. So Jigglypuff is aware of the situation. Cinderace does not know of the situation. Charmeleon's caught in the middle of the situation, and all of this is happening while there's a whole bunch of drama going on in Jigglypuff's life with her ex-bestie Clefairy, while she takes care of her little sister. It's really dramatic. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. You're just gonna have to watch the VOD. If you really want to keep up, you're just gonna have to watch the VOD. No, because it's serious. No, but it's serious. And, the reason why it's actually so serious is because this is real life. This is real life dynamics. You can't even deny, this is real life dynamics. Okay, so this is the Frutiger Aero building is going to be at least 2 or 3 levels tall. I want it really to be 3, but the bottom level is going to be where all of the I'm gonna make this little hot spring a little bit wider, actually. So the bottom level is gonna be the public hot spring, aka the public bath, And you know, the real dynamic between Evie and her siblings, like Evie, you know, Evie is one of 9 siblings, like, you know, so and she's the youngest, so she's kind of like, she doesn't see all the dynamics that happen with all the relationship with her siblings that are happening above her. But like, one of the things that Evie is really big on is that she's kind of like, I want to get the family back together, I want to see the family back together, like, I want us to hang out, I want us to have a moment, but she doesn't always know exactly what's going on with everybody else because nobody tells her. And like, that's kind of created this dynamic sometimes where it's kind of like difficult for them to be around each other, even though they really want to appease Evie's needs as their older siblings. And so like the real tea recently is that like Leafeon and Espeon and Sylveon have been the ones who kind of like step up, while the other ones are kind of more neutral about the situation of Evie trying to get everybody back together. And like the thing is, like, they see that Evie is a little bit immature about this and like she's a little bit irrational, and like clearly there's just something psychological that's going on with her where she really needs to like have control over their dynamics, even though she knows in her conscious mind that like there's not really a necessarily super positive dynamic going on between all of her siblings all the time. But yet she like, they're just like, girl, we know that you know that there's something up, and we're not gonna like force you to try and like, you know, see things in a perspective that's really going to like ruin your innocence of it all. But like, there's a reason why we don't talk to Umbreon. There's a reason why Vaporeon doesn't come around. There's a reason why we don't see why we don't talk about Jolteon all the time. Like, and like, if you can't see that, we're not going to force it on your mind, but like the least you could do sometimes is like give us a little bit of grace to know like that we're dealing with each other, and like there's a dynamic going on between all of us. It's not just about what you feel. And that's really like the biggest thing that's going on in Pretty Pinkerton right now, is a lot of Pokemon are talking about the dynamics between all the Eevee siblings. Like, it's just never going to be like what it used to be. Like, because, you know, back in the day when everybody was teenagers and everybody was still going to school and stuff, like they would hang out or whatever, and it would be cute. Like, they all had their little besties, and like it was fine. Everybody's moved away, everybody got serious about their lives, everybody got relationships and stuff like that, and it was just never going to be the same. Eevee's the only one who never let it go. But Eevee's the youngest, so of course Eevee's not going to know the tea. And so whenever you see Eevee, like, people handle Eevee with the kid gloves. So if you ever see Eevee and you see me talking to Eevee, just know that that's what's really going on here. Is that Eevee is kind of like being taken, like, people are really like, they're kind of giving Eevee the grace to be like, you know, have a sense of innocence about what's going on with her siblings, even though she doesn't really know the full tea. Oh, of course they talk shit about each other, but they're siblings, so of course they're going to talk shit about each other anyway. This old Ruby Rider keeps riding along. What is everybody up to today? I've been like making all this headcanon shit in my head for a hot minute now. Like, what is everybody doing? What is y'all's tea? Well, reading contracts. Oh, we'll get into it. And I'm glad I can be something of entertainment. Same, but with emails. Well, get into it. Get into it. Is there something that you need today? I'm revamping my emotes so they look higher quality. Also, I'm adding animated emotes. Period. And like, I really like my main point in like telling you all the tea about all the Pokemon in these areas is like, you never really know what's going on behind closed doors, and like you never really know somebody's story until you talk to them. And like, I have a relationship with some of these Pokemon, which is why they tell me, but they're not telling you because they don't know you like that, and that's okay. But like, you really have to be like really mindful. Bitch, what? What? Get away from me. I'm over here thinking about what I want the bottom of this freaking hot bath to look like, and you're up in my business talking about can we go treasure hunting? If you don't get out of my face with that dowsing machine bullshit. Talking about a dowsing machine, bitch. RIP to Psyduck and Golduck. Like, their houses are just gone, bitch. Y'all seen Psyduck and Golduck? Let me know. Do you need something? Oh, I don't even care. I really don't want this water to be... I really don't want this water to be... hot water. I want it to be like... Right. So even though there's a piece of ice down there, like, it's preventing the hot water from, like, getting everywhere else. And that's what I want, because I don't want to see all that hot water everywhere. It's going to bother me. I think I sound fucking crazy when I started talking about all these Pokemon dynamics and like who's cousins with who and who's siblings with who and who has what dynamic and with whom. I wish Chikorita was in this game. I don't know if Chikorita is in this game, but I wish Chikorita was in this game. Honestly, Chikorita would be so cute. I think you sound like an expert in your field. Well, yes, actually. Thank you. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna have to do with this is I want to expand this out a little bit. This is gonna be open concept. It's gonna be a public bathhouse, but it's still gonna be open concept. Because I don't want to I don't want to fuck with it too much. I still want Pokemon to be able to come in here and like not feel like they have to like walk inside somebody's house or walk inside somebody's area or whatever. And or a very nosy neighbor with 3 filing cabinets. A through H, I through P, and Q through Z, and thousands of files. Well, and the crazy thing is though, like if you were in Jigglypuff's situation and like you would think in your head like a lot of girls who are not very smart who would be in Jigglypuff's situation when it comes to her relationship with Cinderace would think in their head like, I want that ring, I'm really serious about this relationship, of course I'm going to I deserve it, and he's gonna see it. Jigglypuff is of the mind though, because she's already aware that Cinderace is not always Cinderace is not super emotionally aware or mature. She knows it that he's not thinking about all the dynamics that she's handling and all the stuff that she's handling in her life. And so she knows that sometimes she thinks in her head sometimes that the best that she's ever going to get is what she's getting now with Cinderace, which is part of the issue with her relationship with Clefairy. Because your friend sees that you're taking less than what you deserve, and that's affecting your relationship because because Clefairy is kind of like, how can I keep you in my life if you don't even want better for yourself? And that's the real issue between them as well, is you might have obviously Jigglypuff had opinions about what was going on in Clefairy's homing situation with her mom and with her cousin or whatever, and that's not really her business. But even beyond that, it was kind of Clefairy was always thinking in her head, how can we be best friends? How can we be good friends, best friends, good Judies? And yet you don't want to better your life, and I'm still on an upward trajectory. That's complicated. And better for yourself is most likely better for Igglybuff too. Well, exactly. I think that there's a level to that too, because it's kind of in a perfect world, Jigglypuff's relationship with Cinderace, regardless of Raboot, regardless of Jigglypuff's relationship with Cinderace, regardless of Raboot, regardless of Scorbunny, regardless of Igglybuff, is in a perfect world, they are together and it works. And they are together and it works the way that it currently is, but does it really work in Jigglypuff's heart? And the answer to that is no, which means that Jigglypuff is never going to be able to give her heart fully. Like, she is never going to rest easy within that relationship, which is going to affect the way that she handles her relationships in other areas as well. And even if that's messy, it's just the truth. And, like, then you add all the dynamics of, like, Cinderace's little brother, Cinderace's son, and then you add the dynamic of Jigglypuff's little sister. And, like, there's not really a lot of, like, you know, Jigglypuff lost her parents when she was young, so she has trauma about that. She had to get it out the mud. She had to take care of herself. She had to step up where nobody else was going to step up, especially for Igglybuff. And so it's kind of like, she is worried about all these things, and obviously she's trying to handle herself the way that she can, but it's like she can never rest easy because her relationship is never going to be what she wanted in her head, or that she really was trained to have. And so she has to deconstruct that in her mind, yes, but also beyond that, it's kind of like sometimes, you know, there is like a level of, you know, societal expectations that I think sometimes people really benefit from when they want it. And Jigglypuff really wants like a better life for herself in her own mind, but it's like she also is of the like, she's of the opinion that this is the circumstance that I'm in, and I gotta make the most of what I can make of this situation, because I still have to take care of my sister, and I might not be able to do that on my own all the time. And so she did what she had to do. She used her looks. Clefairy is somewhat jealous of her because Clefairy is a pretty girl, but Clefairy is pretty in her own way. Jigglypuff is pretty in like a, you know, I have big eyes, I have a cute face, I have big eyes, a cute face, big boobs, like it's not going to be the same thing. And that's okay. And Jigglypuff and Clefairy never compared their looks, but it's like Clefairy doesn't like how much easier Jigglypuff has it, because of Jigglypuff's relationship to societal expectation. And sometimes I think Clefairy has it in her mind that it's supposed to be easier for Jigglypuff, even though Jigglypuff is struggling in her own circumstance as well. And so it's really messy because there's a lot of jealousy, there's a lot of toxicity there. Big boobs? No comment. I said what I said. This is the days of our Pokemon lives. Like, I'm just keeping it 100. Like, there's a dynamic there. Like, there's a competition. And I think that was the thing, is that, like, Clefairy doesn't want what Jigglypuff has necessarily, but it's like there's a competition going on between them, especially with the dynamics of, like, Jigglypuff not having a mom and Clefairy not really having a mom either. And so they really connected on that front, but then it was kind of like, come to find out, Jigglypuff is jealous because Clefairy still has like a mother influence. You know, the dynamic between the girls is great, but like, you know, like Clefairy doesn't really like how Jigglypuff has it easier by society standards, and yet Jigglypuff feels pressure to even live up to a standard of society because she wants better for her own little sister, and it's like it's a really crazy dynamic. And then on top of that, she's trying to handle her relationship with Cinderace, but it's like, it's hard to handle a dynamic with somebody who's not going to see you for who you are and give you what you deserve when they know what you deserve and they know what they want. Because of course Cinderace is one of those guys who's always talking about how he wants things to be a certain way with his relationship with Jigglypuff as well, but it's like, is he ever going to be able to actually make that happen? And the answer to that in Jigglypuff's mind is no. Annalise, I don't even know what you're talking about. She keeps them on her chest. I don't even know why you said that. Like, you literally see them when you look at her. Like, it's right there. I don't want to use the iron plating for this. I don't want to use the iron plating for this. I don't want to use the iron plating for this. It's tempting. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, that looks really good, actually. If I have enough to cover this floor, I will. It's also, you know, it's kind of like a weird thing where it's like you want better for somebody, you want better for somebody's life more than they want it for themselves, but that's because you don't see everything that that person has to deal with in the first place. And so it becomes a big situation of a cycle of judgment between the two girls where it's like, I want you to do better in your own life, but it's like, how can you want better for me when I know what's going on for me and I know what I can have and I know what I can handle, and you're telling me that you want it to be different for me when you don't even know what I gotta go through on a daily basis besides the shit that you see. And so then and they never have that conversation, but that is clearly what's going on here. It's like that, you know, they both have opinions about what's going on with each other's lives, but they don't actually know. And it's like, if you don't know, why do you have an opinion in the first place? I mean, I think it's natural to have an opinion about what's going on in somebody's life, especially when you're so close, in such close proximity to them. But I think it's complicated when it's like, it's one of those things of like, you can't think in your head that I have a charmed life simply because I have a mom, because you don't even know what my relationship with my mom is like. Meanwhile, that's not even her actual mom, that's her aunt. And you don't even know what her relationship with her aunt is like. Like, she lost her mom at a early age. Like, there was no mom in her situation, and her aunt had to step up. The same way that Jigglypuff had to step up for her sister. And you would think that Jigglypuff would have like some kind of resonance for the situation, considering how similar it is to what she has going on in her own life. And yet she can't even conceive in her mind that maybe sometimes she oversteps with her own fucking opinions. That's messy. I don't know. And yet, for whatever reason, Jigglypuff can have a relationship with Clefable, even though Jigglypuff doesn't want to have a relationship with Clefairy. That's messy too. Like, you're mad at me for having a mom, and yet you have a relationship with my mom, type shit. Like, a shameless core, help. I don't have enough blocks of white rock. I'm sick to my stomach. I can go get more. Actually, I need to step away. I need to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna play some music and I'm gonna step away for a little bit and I'll come back. Because I'm gonna keep working on this. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. Fast, I want it fast. Get it to it. Okay, let's get back to it. Sorry, I was gone for one song longer than I wanted to be, but it's okay. Cause I got a little need for speed. Hi. Give me a second. Okay, let's get back to it. Actually, what I want to put here is I think I'm going to put a fence here. So I'm going to take these blocks away. But I don't think I'm going to do the fence today. Right now, I think I'm just going to work on the outside structure and then I will fill it in as I go. Because I know what I want the outside to look like. Take care, Sam. Bye, Sam. Soft launching. Wanting to keep listening to music. You know what? Sometimes I don't mind listening to music, but for this moment, I think it's too much for me. And like, my truth is that I love to play music when I'm streaming, but sometimes the music is too much while I'm gaming and I want to also catch the game audio for the VOD. It's too much to also have the music playing. Well, I guess my relationship will never see the light of day. Right. Okay, time for the cleanup crew. And also, I need to figure out how exactly I want like these, how are the Pokemon gonna get up here? Is there gonna be some kind of elevator system that works on the outside, or what? Like, hi Don Fan, aka Don Dom. Doing pretty good. I'm building a Frutiger Aero building in Pokopia, but like we're still really bare bones with it. I definitely want there to be like screens and monitors and things like that. I want it to feel like futuristic. I don't just want it to be like water and plants. I'm excited too. So this is 4 blocks, right? 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yikes. Let's do, we could do a petite 5. I feel like that's fine. Let's just stick with 4 up here. I mean, I do kind of like the openness of it, of the philo. You know what? Here's what we'll do. Call me crazy. I changed my name on Fortnite again. They made me change it for bullying. Why? I don't even remember what your name was. Wasn't it something silly? I have a break from my I've had a break from my Pokopia. I don't know what to do. But Pokopia to me is kind of like Minecraft, so you can really do whatever you want. The only issue is that like Pokopia is not set up like Minecraft, where you can like change everything to be like super customizable the way like there are customization options that you have in this game that you don't have in other games, and then customization options that you might have in other games that you definitely don't have here. I think what I'm gonna have to end up doing is putting an elevator on this bitch. I just don't know where I want the elevator to go. Because, like, the Pokemon need to be able to go up and down this building. Or else this is only going to be accessible to Pokemon with wings. It was Gummy Shark? Why did you... Oh, so you were getting bullied. Yeah, I made a vision board. It's in one of my VODs, but I made a vision board that I'm trying to follow, at least energetically, when it comes to like this area. So really, like, I'm building this Frutiger Aero building right here, but in essence, this is going to be part of like the urban center. So there's like, I want to have a few really good, big established buildings in this part of town specifically, going all the way over here to this green building right here, and even to the former Team Rocket building back here. And like, even though this is going to be somewhat residential, there's still going to be Pokemon that live in them. I don't know who Bugha is. Bugha? Bugha? I don't know who that is. Bye. I also need to get my pallet count up to a good level, so that way I have more, have the availability to make more iron plating. The guy who won 3 million in the Fort World Cup back in 2019, I think. Yeah. You know, actually, it's funny that you say that. So you know, when I played Minecraft, the majority of the time that I've spent on Minecraft has been in the Girly Pop region, which is connected to Fawn's community. And you know who has a really good, actually, like a really good rounded staircase is Damsel in her build. For the Articuno place, do you know where to get ice? I do. There's ice in Pallet Town if you go to Pallet Town, and you can also, I think you can get ice in one of the islands as well. I just don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's rare or what, but I know that you can get ice in one of the Dream Islands. I can't tell you which one it is. And see, this is a pretty big structure because, like, that's 5. What? So this is 5 tall, right? And the inside of this is 5 because that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's 5. So, like, it's from floor to ceiling, it's 5. And then this from floor to ceiling is 4. And then down here on this level, at least from floor to ceiling, if we're really going to go from the true floor to the true ceiling, I think it's 5. She brought you a brownie. Give me one, please. Give me one too. Give me one too, please. Please, I love a brownie, please. Pokemon, I don't believe, can climb a ladder, so I would have to put some kind of staircase in this building or some kind of elevator. You have to take advantage of the ability to have stairs and walkways without railings and doorways without doors. You can. Yeah. Yeah, they cannot use ladders at all. Can they climb on vines? I'll leave you out the brownie in the fridge. Thank you. I'll get it out to my stream. Thank you. So far, I think this is looking really good. I think I want there to be like a little bit more of like, I want there to be some water elements in this for sure. I kind of like how the ice feels, so I might replace this, I might replace this floor down here with ice because I like how it looks. And more three-dimensional. Yeah, I really want it to feel three-dimensional, which is why I'm leaving this like middle level open like that. It's because I want it to feel like less, you know. Like it's supposed to be like a futuristic build. Like we talk about Frutiger Aero, you talk about that those kinds of aesthetics. Like it's not going to be as simple as being like. And like a lot of the future, like Frutiger Aero specifically, they use this like the blue, cyan, cerulean, whatever color that you want to call it. Like use a lot of like light blues to symbolize technology. And yeah, there will probably be some better alternatives to this, but this is like a good starting point. So I have the structure down. I'm still conflicted on what I want the rest of this to look like. I definitely want to continue to build this as well. I don't know what I want this to look like either. I need more stone. I'll have to go get that in a bit. And then actually what I was gonna do for the roof, like the toppest part of this roof, I was actually considering making it more of that iron tiling, I think. Just to kind of top it off, because that's what both of these buildings have on the top of their roofs, and that's what this building has on top of its roof. Or maybe even using like the iron plating to make the roof. That would also be really interesting visually, just because it's like a similar aesthetic, even though this building is going to stick out like a sore thumb from a skyline. I'm also not fully opposed to making this building taller. That one right there, the green one. Like even just one level, and adding more Pokemon that can live in there, and then like this will just be like the electric Pokemon, metal Pokemon side of town type thing. That is not what I wanted. I can't even do it. Like every time I try to do it, it never works, but it's funny. Okay, and that's a good cap to the building too. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so like this bottom area is definitely going to be like the public bathhouse. And so these top areas, I don't know exactly what I want them to be. Like, this is probably going to be some kind of apartment situation. And I'm not opposed to just putting, like, straight up just putting, like, an elevator in here. It's just the elevators are such eyesores because they have to be red. But, like, that's the only way these Pokemon are going to get up here unless I put stairs, which I also don't hate. Just depends on if I can paint the stairs, which you can't paint the stairs. Like if I put these iron steps here, I can't paint them. I can't paint the stone steps. There are concrete steps. I don't know if I can paint those or not. I doubt it though. Piplup would be a really good candidate. Piplup lives over here. Actually, last time, I think I don't know if I posted the picture, but Piplup was sleeping in this little bed that I put down here for her. Love. But Piplup lives over here. I'm thinking about maybe moving Piplup into this house. And then, like, breaking this staircase down a little bit. And then putting a tower here specifically for the elevator. So like the Pokemon that want to come up and down over here, they can't come up and down, but they have to go into the elevator tower. I'll think about it, I'll think about it, I'll think about it, I'll think about it, I'll think about it. Do I have any windows? I do have some windows, and you can paint the windows. Let's go paint the windows and see what that's giving. I actually think I want to do the window panes. I definitely want to do some kind of like, I need iron. Let's see what they got going on for me up in here. Nothing. What do you want? And here's my iron. Thank you. Let's see who's selling today. Nobody's over here at Meowth's house. Nobody's over here at... the cafe. Let's go up to the Happini is selling wooden table, public seat. Nobody's selling over here either. Where is everyone? They're just not coming out the way they used to. Is Empoleon at home? It doesn't look like Empoleon is home. What about Blastoise? Is Blastoise home? It seems kind of like it's been a little empty. Like, where is everyone? Blastoise will usually make his way over to sell something, but I haven't seen him in a while either. Mega Raichu Y, a shiny Alolan Raichu. Yep. Like, let's get the city with a little hustle and bustle to it. I need to move some of these Pokemon into this cave area too. Maybe I'll do that since I'm kind of running out of... I'm running out of the space, and I'm also kind of burning out a little bit on this building. So I think what I'll do is I'll move Squirtle and Wartortle to certain areas too. A tomato hamburger steak if you have any. Here. Enjoy. Pokemetal. Bitch, I didn't know you had it like that, Ariados. Ariados is going to be moving to the Skylands. I think I need to do a big shuffle of Pokemon, but I'm kind of attached with Meowth living here. I think maybe Meowth will stay here because I'm kind of attached to Meowth living here because of the circumstances of the story. And so I'm not really opposed to having Meowth continue to live in this house because I feel like this is kind of perfect for Meowth. And Meowth is local. Like if you go to Vermilion City and in the Pokemon games, you can find Meowth in the route that leads up to Vermilion City. So that's fine. I think I want to... maybe I'll move Persian out to the other area though. Let's check and see who's selling at the Pokemon Center. Meowth. Oh, Meowth has iron. Speaking of Meowth. Let's go see if I can make some window panes. I actually just want to test out what the colors of the window panes will be. Because maybe we can find like an interesting color combination. Or we can make them teal or something like that to really kind of go with this building. But I need more window panes before I make that commitment. Because I know I'm going to want more window panes in the long run anyway. I don't think I'm holding any glass though, which is the issue. Yeah, I'm not holding any glass. Let's go check the... smelters over here. No, the smelters over here are empty. I have others. I don't have any other smelters in this area because all the fire type Pokemon live over here. I know I have some in the Rocky Ridges. I know that there's no glass in the smelter in the Wasteland. And that's the other thing is that I want all the fire type Pokemon to be in the one area so that way I can just run the smelters all I want to. Like that's one thing that I probably will like actively farm in some capacity is just because like when you fill up a smelter you leave an area, you come back, like they're gonna work on it even if you don't show them working on it. That's something that I really appreciate. I should go check out on that paint too. Maybe they put some paint in there. I can never look at Clefairy and Jigglypuff the same after talking about their tea. Bitty bitty bum bum. Well, Rampardos got to work, and so did Cranidos. What happens when you talk? That's what happens when you talk behind somebody's back. Well, maybe that's true. I forgot there was a smelter over here. Oh, and here's Magmar sleeping on the freaking stairs. And Magby up here, kind of trapped. Oh. I'm gonna close the door. I'm gonna walk away. I don't know what's going on up in here, but children are being unsupervised. I'm scared. Like, I understand that I have to rebuild society on my own back, but like, do I also have to watch everybody else's kids? Like, that's the real thing. Are you prepared to be? Are you prepared to be a parent just because you live with a child that happens to be in your family dynamic? Like, because Jigglypuff stepped up, Clefairy stepped up, like. Yeah, Magmar can't meet that one requirement, like. Let's go check on Moltres. Hello? The actual thing about adding these Pokemon into this area is that they might lower the quality of the area a little bit because they're homeless. And like, they don't give you what their home requirement is right away. I wish that Moltres did put her wings down. It's so serious out here for her. Like, even just a little casual moment. Okay, well, I put my glass in there. Let's go to the Sparkling Skylands and see if there's any glass around there. I never checked the boxes, but I don't think there's any that I really, you know. We kind of saw that for Zapdos with the Galarian Zapdos, I guess. But Galarian Zapdos' wings are smaller than standard Zapdos. AKA Cantonian Zapdos, but still. Galarian Zapdos' wings are smaller. We also kind of see that with Galarian Articuno, but Galarian Articuno doesn't fold its wings in, it just closes its wings in front of itself. Damn, nobody is selling. This is the only established area over here to sell anything, and nobody's selling anything? What's going on? Nobody wants to, like, the economy is tanking. Like, nobody's coming out to sell their shit anymore. Oh, I'm sick. Save the girls. Alright, let me look and see if I have any glass or windows in here. No glass. I have a little bit of iron. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. I don't really need that. I'm gonna put this in here because I don't need all of that. No glass. No windows, no glass, no windows. No glass, no windows. Ugh. What does the Fountain Plaza look like? I be gunting it. Right, right. I think I'm kind of hitting a stopping point here. I will definitely come back. I'm gonna like go off when I go off stream. I'm gonna continue to work on both of the buildings that I've done in Bleak Beach. The one that I did for the last time I streamed Pokopia and the one that I did for Dan. I'm gonna work on them. I am still working on preparing for the Fierce Pop Lock. And I do know that we're gonna have at least one episode of the Girly Pop Lock this week. So keep an eye out for that, which I will try to announce before I actually like just randomly pop out and do it, but just in case. What does the Fountain Plaza look like? Oh, that's pretty. This would actually go really well inside of the Frutiger Aero building, huh? And then all I have to do is like put some water in there. I might want to paint this like rock here white or something, but I wonder if there's space in it for that. I hate the columns. Yeah, I don't know why the columns are gray. Normally they're white. I think they made everything they tried to make everything cohesive. Because like the floor is gray and the stairs are gray because those are like the stone stairs and you can't change the color of the stairs. I don't know if that'll fit right here. This would be a great spot for that though. Yeah, this is a little too big. So that's actually way too big. Right here. This would be fun to have around though. Or maybe even like a Pikachu fountain. I don't know. Do I even have a Pikachu fountain recipe? I do. How big is the Pikachu fountain? It's not that big. Actually, it would fit in here. I just need to break down this like one layer. Wait. That's kind of interesting. The surfing Pikachu? I'm going to think about it because that's interesting to look at and it's an interesting thing to put on here. What if I put it on the roof? Call me crazy. The space down here, this is just a little bit too thin. Like it's just one block too, not wide enough to put down here. So we're going to like break one of these walls down, and also you're not going to be able to enjoy like the visual of the Pikachu. But up here, it's just big enough. That would be crazy if I put this all the way up here. I don't think that they would be able to see it, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't be able to see it either, so I wouldn't even think about it. I like the idea of the Pikachu statue, though. What if I put it right here? Like, I could knock this down and put the Pikachu right here. Okay. And then when you're on this mid-level, you'll be able to see it. When you're on the top level, you'll be able to see it. And you should be able to see it from elsewhere, too. And then if I really hate it, we could remove it. But is it really giving Frutiger Aero? No. I can't change the color of it. Oh. I do need to put something interesting down here anyway. Let me play with it. Let me play with it. I think a big fountain display out here would kind of detract anyway from what the point of this area was supposed to be. But that Pikachu statue was really fun here because it fit almost perfectly. Low, genuinely, I want to play Overwatch. It's been fun to play a few games here and there. I don't know if I'm ever going to be back into it the way that I was previously into it, but it's fun to play every now and then. So when I have been playing, I've been enjoying it because I'm not taking it super seriously. Twitch said no shopping for you. Okay, well, I still have a few little glass windows. I'm not gonna go paint them right now, but I will go preview what they look like. You're gonna fix your mouse even though you got a new one? What does this look like? Oh, I could do a white tiling. That's not a bad idea. I will consider that. What I actually wanted you to paint was, oh, this. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, so you can paint the window and you can paint the... You can paint it light blue or you can paint it cyan. And I don't think it's worth it to paint the inside of the window blue or cyan because it's so similar. At least visually from what I'm seeing here. Also, light blue doesn't really make sense. The white maybe would be interesting, but like... See, like, we could do that, and then we could do something like... For the purposes of this, I feel like this is what would look best, is the blue, like this light blue color. And then I'll just make all 7 of those that color. AliExpress canceled your order for no reason. Okay, let's test this window. That's definitely the direction that I want to see it go in. Also, I know for a fact that that vine was not the issue. That's not bad. I'm not in love with it, but it's not bad. I think it's more functional than like if I were going to make this window into like a blue window with like a white paint on it. I mean, you know, but I'm gonna have to wait for the glass, so I'm kind of at an impasse with the glass. I'm gonna need a little bit more stone, which I'm gonna be waiting for too, because I know that like a lot of Pokemon can make stone, but I'm kind of stuck with that. And I'm gonna need some more metal, some more iron, so... And I'm waiting for that. So actually, let me go and drop that off really fast. I should figure out how to get Garbodor over here, because if I can get Garbodor over here, or Garbodor, or whatever the fuck, or if I can get, So there's that. I don't even know if I have any Pokemon over here who change logs. I know Farfetch lives like right nearby, so that should be fine. Oh, and here's Primple up selling some wares today. Finally coming out. I do want this fan. Let's go see if anybody took up those selling spaces up there in the farmers market area. I probably am gonna work on the farmers market area too. I kind of want to like get more obsessed with this game. I know I've been kind of like taking a back seat on it recently because I've been wanting to play other stuff, but I really want to get back into it too. You're really big. I'm gonna buy these lumberries. Wait, do you mind if I describe this Wii Classic controller in detail? What? Are you talking to me? I don't care what you do. Not like that. It's pretty chill. I know I'm kind of sensitive to paragraphs and stuff like that, but like as long as people aren't doing it consistently and or back to back, it should be fine. I don't really care that much. If like if you have something you want to say, or if it's topical. I had an egg sandwich earlier and it was not very satisfying. I think I am... I think I am coming to a little bit of a stopping point, so I'm actually going to take a picture with this building, even though it's completely not finished. I'm going to take a picture with it so I can post it for the VOD, because I'm going to post this VOD. And then I will continue this building, and I'll show y'all what I'm done, what it looks like when I'm finished with it. Actually, let me go and do this. I kind of hate that. Let's take a picture with something else. Where's Farfetch'd? Playtime is over, Empoleon. Empoleon thinks it's gonna rain today. That means Kyogre is on the way. You should post it. Let me see it. I want to see. Trust, we will meet again. Having Empoleon take a picture with me at the one window that I actually finished at this on this freaking building. That I may or may not leave as is. Excuse me, Makuita, are you kidding? Okay. Let's check my camera, album. That's fine. Okay, period. That's all I have for y'all today. Thank you so much for coming to my stream. We will not be rating anybody, but I will be playing some music on our way out of here. I will talk to y'all real soon. Yes, Andalise, you better send that a picture of that Wii controller in the freaking Discord server. Make sure to speaking of the Discord server, before I get out of here, make sure to check out the Discord. Make sure to check out my socials. It's the best place to keep updated on what I have going on. If you're watching the VOD, hello. I hope that you enjoyed it, and we're gonna get out of here. Bye.